Assalamu alaikum guys. Today we will see how can we migrate between MongoDB clusters. MongoDB clusters are actually nothing but are containers, for instance, that holds our databases and collections between them. Since MongoDB is a document database, it holds not records but documents. MongoDB clusters are actually hosted on cloud or on local machines. So to migrate, if you ever come across a scenario where you have to migrate your data between Mongo clusters, you can use the drivers established for language of your choice to migrate between MongoDB clusters. We can also host our MongoDB cluster on our local machine. In this tutorial we will see how can we migrate between clusters hosted on cloud, Atlas cloud provided default by the MongoDB. Firstly, we will have a look at the Mongo Compass. It's basically a GUI tool which help us to manage, extract, view and visualize our MongoDB data. Data visualization tool, you can say, you can call MongoDB Compass a data visualization tool developed for MongoDB. You can download the MongoDB Compass on your local machine. I have given the link in the video description. Secondly, for every Mongo cluster that is either hosted on local or cloud has a cluster URI, which is essential for transferring data between clusters. It's basically crucial for data transferring part to specify from which you are going to take data and what's the destination cluster. So to migrate between Mongo clusters, in this tutorial we will use Pymongo, which is a Python driver for MongoDB that lets us to connect to MongoDB using Python code. In this tutorial we will have a actual live script that we will explain line by line, and we will also do a script demo run to see if things were working fine or not. Let's move towards the MongoDB Compass and see how we can visualize using. That's my one cluster. As you can see, this is basically a cluster URI. You can copy from here, and these are my databases, and it has certain collections in it. These are the collections in it. So this is my one cluster which has certain number of databases in it, and supposedly we have to transfer some databases from here to this cluster that has other databases and collections in it. So for instance, in our code we are going to transfer this chatbot DB's collection to this cluster by making a database here. For explanation part, we will transfer these three collections: chat conversation, chat feedback and chat message, from chatbot database in this cluster to this cluster that is hosted here on cloud, and we have connected to this cluster using MongoDB Compass. Let's go towards the code part and see how things are working here. let's comment out the whole code and see how we can do this. Firstly, we have an import here to import the Pymongo driver, which lets us connect to the Mongo client and establish connection with the MongoDB. This is the source cluster URI from which you are going to take data and transfer to your destination cluster. This is the destination URI that you will post your personal cluster or local cluster URI to which you will transfer data to. And these are the variables we have specified here, that is db1 for the source database which you want to transfer, and this is basically the database 2, which is actually going to be in the destination cluster, and in this chatbot copy you will transfer the data from chatbot db1 of source cluster. The collection you want to move will be given here, that I want to move collection message, collection conversation and collection feedback. And then there comes a function where you specify and pass parameters such as source URI, destination URI, collection db1 and db2 name. Collection is basically a list which specifies the collection to be transferred, and the db1 and db2 are basically the name of the databases in the destination and the source clusters. We first establish a connection with the source client using a Mongo client, and also raise exception if the source db1 does not exist in the source database. If it exists, then we establish a connection using with the destination cluster using the Mongo client, and then we check if source db that we provided in the parameters is not none. By not none we mean that it is not empty, and we come and we apply a for loop here, and we loop over the collection list that we gave in the function parameter list, and we check if the every collection that we provided in this collection list is actually present in the database source, which is actually present in the source cluster. If it is present, then we move forward with this condition. If it is not present, we print out that this collection does not exist in the database 1, and we can't transfer database this collection from database of source cluster to any destination cluster. If it is actually found and it is not none and it has documents, by applying this function that count documents, and if this count comes greater than 0, then it is self-evident that the collection is not empty and it also has documents. Then we again apply for loop here to loop over the collections documents in the collection, and we start transferring the collection documents to the destination cluster DB's collection. Like this, we have this C, and C is basically the collection that we provided in the collection list, and we check if it is present in the destination database collection list. If it is present, then we simply take this and insert this document into the destination database simply. If it is not present, then we create a collection first and then start inserting documents one by one. Following this procedure, we actually transfer all of the collections provided in the collection list from the database present in the source cluster to the database we gave in db2 to in the destination clusters. If this else if goes wrong, we print out that there are no collections in no document in collection. Else, if any exception, or if this source db is is goes none, then we simply raise exception that the source database is empty. Then after doing the migration process, we just close the connection to avoid any resource leakage. If any exception is thrown, we just close the source and destination client we opened very first in the start of this script, and print the exception thrown in the try block. And we basically call this function with the source destination URIs collection list and db1 and db2 strings. Let's run this. We have chatbot database 1 from which we want to transfer these collections in this destination URI under this db chatbot copy. Let's run this and check if our script is working or not. It's taking a while, that because it's the computation is under progress, so it might take a few seconds. So be with me and let's see how this script will actually work. It has completed its work and the transfer process has been completed. Let's see if the if the transfer process was successful. This was basically our source clusters from which chatbot DB collections have to be moved, and now we will see our destination cluster database chatbot copy has created or not. As you can see that chatbot copy has created, and these are the 3 collections which we transferred from the source cluster to the destination cluster, and they also have data in them. This was not present. Firstly, we have moved this chatbot DB collections from source to this destination cluster under the database chatbot copy, and these are the 3 collections that we moved. So that's the end of this video. We have actually demonstrated how we can migrate data between MongoDB clusters, and anybody who wants to learn migration between MongoDB clusters, you should like, subscribe and share this video with any individual who wants to learn this migration between database MongoDB database clusters. For code, you should comment and I will provide you with the code. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much.